So hello dear students, welcome to Bajirao Ias Academy interview guidance program. So in this lecture, we will be understanding about the minimum support prices, the concept of MSP. Now in this context, what is meant for MSP? And do all farmers benefit from MSP and how it affects the Indian economy? So, in general, we will understand what is MSP. Okay, so what is MSP and how farmers will benefit from the minimum support prices. Okay, so firstly, if you understand MSP is a price support, a guaranteed amount of price which is provided by the government for the farmers. Okay, a certain price limit which is announced by the government for few crops. Okay, so around 23 crops will get MSP. Okay, so MSP is a guaranteed amount paid to farmers when government buys their produce. Okay, so this is actually a guaranteed amount that is being paid by the government to the farmers. So when they sell their produce at the procurement centers. Now, if you understand, MSP is actually based on the recommendations of Commission for Agriculture Costs and Prices. Okay, so this Commission for Agriculture Costs and Prices actually consider various factors. The factors like cost of production, demand and supply, market price trends, and intercrop price parity. Okay, so these are the major aspects that can be considered by the Commission for Agriculture Costs and Prices before recommending MSPs. This CAPC is attached office of the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. And this Commission for Agriculture Costs and Prices has came into existence in the year 1965. Okay, so after the Commission for Agriculture Costs and Prices recommends MSPs, this will be approved by the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs. So this Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs is chaired by Prime Minister, and it takes final decision over the recommendations of CACP. Okay, so if you understand the aim or objective of the MSP is aimed at ensuring remunerative prices to growers for their produce and ensuring crop diversification. Now, Indian agriculture has been facing problem with the monocropping. So generally monocropping means that there is a dominance of very few crops like wheat and rice. So monocropping has a lot of negative implications on farming and even the ecology. So therefore, ensuring crop diversification is good for ecological health, is good for soil fertility, and it is also good for ensuring nutritional security. And even through crop diversification, we can ensure resource use intensity, because there are certain water guzzling crops like sugarcane and paddy, rice. So with these water intensive crops, so the resource use efficiency is very low. So therefore, crop diversification will ensure resource use efficiency in agriculture. We can reduce the intense use of resources and the intense use of chemical fertilizers, pesticides in agriculture that could have negative implications on farming and farmers' livelihood. So therefore, so if you understand MSP, there are 22 mandated crops, and these 22 mandated crops in the list will be given fair and remunerative, will be given MSP. Okay, so 22 crops and one sugarcane which is being provided fair and remunerative prices. Okay, so these crops include both kharif crops and rabi crops. So MSP is actually announced before the sowing of the crops in every season, both kharif and rabi season. Now if you understand, the cropping seasons are three. Okay, kharif season, rabi season, and the zaid season. Okay, so therefore 14 crops of the kharif season and 6 rabi crops and 2 other commercial crops will be provided the MSP. Now in this context, if you understand the objectives of minimum support prices, so it has certain objectives. So the first and foremost object is it support the farmers from distress sale. Now what does it mean when we say distress sale? So the agriculture markets are flooded with the agriculture commodities or agriculture produce. Then the market would experience drop in prices of these agri commodities, and this is what is called as distress sale. So the prices would drop significantly, thereby farmer would not be able to realize the remunerative prices, and this is where minimum support prices will help the farmer in getting remunerative prices for his produce. The second major objective is it helps in procuring food grains for public distribution system. So we have a vast public distribution system. So for us it is very important that we maintain buffer stocks, right? So these buffer stocks will be helpful in ensuring food security for our population. So therefore it helps in procure food grains for public distribution system. So it also has a huge influence in the cropping patterns as per the needs of the economy. So this is also a very important, because our cropping patterns can be decided by the MSP, which is being announced by the government. So it will also ensure that stability of the prices of food grains. So how? Because MSP incentivizes different crops. Okay, so since MSP has incentivizing different crops, there is a probability that different crops will come into the market. And apart from that, it also incentivizes farmers to engage in farming. So therefore more and more agri produce in the market means that it ensures stability of prices of food grains. So these are some objectives of the minimum support price. So how MSP is actually determined? So MSP is determined based on the following factors by the Commission for Agriculture Costs and Prices. So the first factor is demand and supply of the commodity in the market, and secondly the situation of the domestic stock, trends in market prices, international price situation, cost of production based on the average cost of production. For example, 85% of the cost is covered under MSP, inter-crop price parity, terms of trade between agriculture and non-agriculture. So these are the 7 factors which are considered before determining the prices of MSP or different crops. Okay, so this is how MSP is actually determined, right? So before discussing way forward for this minimum support prices, we need to understand certain challenges with the MSP. Now if you look at the procurement under MSP regime, so procurement is very low, just 6%. According to the Shanta Kumar committee, the procurement of various crops under this MSP system is just 6%. So therefore it is not covering all the farmers. Secondly, farmers lack awareness about the MSP, and if you look at the procurement, Haryana and Punjab states are dominating. And even there are water guzzling crops like sugarcane, wheat and rice. So because of MSP, the farmers have been interested in cultivating rice, wheat and sugarcane, neglecting other crops. Okay, so this has also resulted in further promoting monocropping, and that has several negative implications. Okay, so apart from this has also further increased the subsidy burden on the government. So therefore the government is not able to spend enough on agriculture infrastructure. Agriculture infrastructure is very important for a country like India. Okay, so the government is not able to spend more on agriculture infrastructure. So these are the various challenges with the MSP system, and MSP is also does not have any legal backing. The farmers have also been demanding for the legal backing, providing legal backing to or statutory status to MSP. So therefore we cannot depend on MSP in the longer term. we need to take certain measures so that farmers would realize remunerative prices, so that they will not depend on the MSP, minimum support prices, provided by the government. Now in this context, we need to understand the way forward, certain suggestions in this context. So we need to encourage crop diversification and should reduce the dominance of rice and wheat. So as I have told you, there's a dominance of rice and wheat in the cropping system. So therefore we must reduce the dominance on rice and wheat. We need to encourage crop diversification. So the government can also gradually expand the list of crops eligible for MSP support. So this will further encourage farmers to cultivate more and more crops. This also incentivizes the farmers to engage in the agriculture sector. And simultaneously, we need to focus on food processing and allied sectors within agriculture like dairying and aquaculture, sericulture, apiculture, etc. So instead of providing MSP for all crops across all regions, the government can focus on setting MSPs for crops that are essential for food security. Okay, so the government can think about an idea. It is, providing MSP to only few crops which are very important for food security and nutritional security. For example, pulses and cereals. Okay. So they could also have a demonstrable impact on farmers' livelihoods. So in this context, it is also very important for us to protect the livelihoods of the farmers. So how can we protect the livelihoods of the farmers? So ensure a better prices for the produce of the farmers. Okay, so this targeted approach of providing MSPs only for food security or crops which ensure food security will help optimize the resource allocation. And it will also improve and modernize procurement mechanisms to ensure that farmers have access to minimum support prices. And this involves creating more efficient procurement systems. So the problem with the MSP is we lack efficient procurement system, and we also have a presence of middlemen. So presence of middlemen would impact the remunerative prices earned by the farmers. So therefore, in this context, we need to bring market reforms. We need to focus on food processing sector. We need to remove middlemen. We need to strengthen the capacity and the bargaining power of the farmers with respect to selling his produce. We need to think beyond APMC mandis, selling produce within the APMC mandis, contract farming, cooperative farming. So all these factors will help strengthen the bargaining powers of the farmers, and it will help in realizing better prices for the produce, thereby incentivizing agriculture. Now in fact, India to become the food basket of the world, because we are 8 billion population across the globe. So therefore over a period of time, food security is very important, and India has the potential to meet the global food security needs. So therefore agriculture has to be focused in this context. So therefore reforms have to be brought which strengthen the bargaining powers, which strengthen the capacities of the farmers and the farming sector. Okay, so that's all for this lecture. Please like the video and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you have any doubts and any suggestions, please write those suggestions in the comment section. Thank you.